20-year-old U of H student Jade McKissic was found days after she vanished, and this morning, investigators still have more questions than answers.
So here's what we do know. She was last seen on September 11th in an area near North McGregor Way. 4 days later, her body was discovered in Brays Bayou.
Houston police confirm another dead body was found here at Buffalo Bayou. That marks the 5th one just this week and the 14th so far this year.
Jade left around 12:30, appearing to be herself, and was heading toward downtown. Sky 2 was overhead on the 15th, showing that stretch of bayou where her body was recovered. But the big questions remain. Haley, how did she get there and how did she die?
A great investigation on these matters. So from our perspective, don't rush to any conclusions. Don't speculate. Let law enforcement do what law enforcement does. And
UHD criminal justice professor Dr. Krista Gearing is urging people not to jump to conclusions.
I don't think it's a serial killer because a lot of times you have accidental deaths.
You send your kid to college and she doesn't come back. And they have some video footage that I've seen where she appears to be leaving. And I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that she was with friends and she left and she forgot her phone. And some people have said she's may have been drinking, but you should be able to go out and drink and be safe. And she went walking. Now, she was found in Brays Bayou, which is actually 1 block from where she was.
Before we get into today's video, I want to share a short clip of Jade from right before she graduated high school in 2023. Even then, she had already earned multiple scholarship offers in recognition of her academic achievements. Now, after graduation, Jade went on to attend the University of Houston, where she was part of the Honors College. Her future had been filled with promise, but that promise was tragically cut short when she lost her life at just 20 years old. Now her family and her best friend are left to grieve while also searching for answers, because authorities have indicated there was no foul play, but those closest to Jade are not fully convinced. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to like the video, drop a comment and let me know if you've heard of this case, and if you appreciate my coverage, subscribe to the channel. Now listen to this.
Jade McKissic. Jade is an honor graduate, dedicated service graduate, Abilene Christian University Royce L. Money Chancellor's Award for Academic Excellence Scholarship for $90,000. Houston Christian University Founder Scholarship for $96,000. Spring ISD Education Foundation Marshall Family Scholarship for $1,000. Spring ISD Education Foundation Scholarship for $1,000. University of Houston Academic Excellence Scholarship Academic Award for $24,000. University of North Texas Excellence Scholarship for $32,000. And Jade will attend the University of Houston main campus.
On June the 16th, 2025, just 1 day after Jade turned 20, she took to her social media account to playfully post "Escape Teen Pregnancy" number 20. It reflected her humor and lighthearted spirit. Those who knew Jade described her as well-rounded, down-to-earth, and a creative person. Now, Jade was someone who genuinely looked forward to her birthday. She embraced life and found joy in celebrating each milestone and taking photos. But while she proudly celebrating turning 20, just 3 months later, on September the 15th, she was found deceased, a devastating loss that cut her promising future short. Now, Jade also used her social media account to express herself, although she kept a low profile on social media. Now, one of the things that she posted was some confessions about herself. And in one of the confessions, Jade said, "Sometimes I see myself failing in the future and it worries me, but people always tell me I have nothing to worry about." She went on to say, I'm always giving solid, sound advice to people, and y'all still don't listen. My grandma told me I'm wise beyond my years, and if you know Black grandmas, this is a high honor. Then y'all want to come crying to me when stuff comes falling to your knees. I literally have no pity. She made another confession and she said, listen up. Y'all gonna hate me for this one, but I peep everything. Game recognizes game. If you think you got one over on me, think smarter. She also said, whenever I go home, I usually go in my room in the dark and cry. I don't cry often, and I never have a long time until I go back home. You can imagine how stuff accumulates. And then she said, I wish I could go back and tell myself something at every age. Knowing what I know now, I could have saved myself from a lot of stupid decisions. And Jade's confession number 7 was, I usually hate people, but I can't live without my mom, dad, or grandma. If they gone, just take me out. I promise you I won't care. Now, Jade's family and friends have come forward to say that they do not believe that there was no foul play involved in her death because she was a happy 20-year-old girl and she had a very promising future. She went out with friends and they planned on going to different bars. From there, Jade ends up leaving the bar to go to the gas station to get a drink, which her family doesn't understand. Because if she was at a bar where there were drinks available, why would Jade leave the bar where she was at with friends and leave her cell phone? So her family is not buying this. Now, I want you to listen to the small news clip because it's going to walk you through exactly what happened. And then right after this, we'll get into what her family said. So listen to this.
Okay, last 19 seconds in the second half. Houston is down by 2, 65 to 63.
And we are learning this new information, all coming into our newsroom in the past 20 minutes or so. To give you a perspective, we're right along North McGregor Way. This is where Houston police say that Jade was last seen. So to help kind of piece together exactly what happened, I'm going to kind of show you what we've learned so far. So according to Houston police, she was last seen at a bar and restaurant right along this area. She was there with some friends. From there, Houston police say that she left that restaurant and left her phone and then walked right over here to the Shell gas. Police say that she purchased a drink and then she walked right out here beyond this gas station. And right on the other side of this gas station is Brays Bayou. Police say that is where Jade walked to, and ever since, there's been a lot of questions surrounding her death and disappearance.
Okay, so you just heard that Jade left this bar that she was with her friends, and she went to the gas station, and the police were able to confirm that she did purchase a drink. However, what is suspicious to her family is that she left her phone. Now, this is an alleged cousin that came forward, and what she said was, sadly, my cousin was apparently murdered. May she rest in peace. Her parents are distraught, of course, not just because she was their only child. Jade was rare indeed. She was an outstanding student at the University of Houston where her father taught. She was loved. That same alleged cousin went on and she said, yes, some suspect the serial killer may have taken my cousin Jade's life. We truly don't know. There are some odd circumstances surrounding her death with regard to people who were supposed to be her friends. Help, find Jade's murderer by reporting info to Houston PD. Now, keep in mind that the alleged friends that was with her have not come forward and provided an interview. Authorities have not done a press release as of the date of this recording, September the 22nd. But I want you to pay attention to this clip. The significance here is it's going to show the final moments of Jade that was captured on camera before police suspect that her life was ended. So I want you to pay attention to this.
In green in the far right corner of your screen. It's the last time she was seen, according to police. It shows her walking towards Brays Bayou. To give you some perspective, the gas station is about 100 yards away from Brays Bayou. I'm going to actually walk and see how long it takes me to get there. That video was sped up, but it took me about 27 seconds to walk from the front entrance to the intersection of McGregor Way and Scott Street. This camera right here at the end of the gas station shows Jade walking towards the left of the bayou, and then she goes out of frame. Sadly, 4 days later, Jade's body was found in the bayou about 2.5 miles from the gas station. Police said an autopsy revealed no signs of trauma or foul play, and the cause of her death is under investigation. Jade was a junior who was studying strategic communications and advertising. She was.
Can I live? Can I live? Can I fucking live?
Okay, so drop your comments and let me know, what are your thoughts about this case? Here you have a young lady. She's 20 years old. She's in college. She goes to the bar with her friends, as you heard. At some point, she decides that she wants to leave, and she's going to go to the gas station to get a drink. She leaves her cell phone. After leaving her cell phone, then she unfortunately walks to her death. Now, she does have a best friend who came forward. But before I get to that, what are your thoughts about what you just heard in that clip? The medical examiner report says there's no trauma, there's no foul play, but they're still waiting to determine the cause of death. So obviously they'll have to get the toxicology report and any other report. But with what they have now, they're saying there's no trauma, there's no foul play. What are your thoughts about this? Now, I want to establish the relationship here with her best friend that spoke out. Jade had an older post on her account, so it'll let you know how Jade felt about her. And she said, I can't even begin to express how it feels to have someone who takes care of your mental health when you can't. This girl provided that for me for the longest time, and she had no idea. Sometimes just inquiring with someone if they're okay can make it all the difference. And she doesn't know that most of the time when she would ask me that, it would remind me that I have people who love me. No matter what was going on in her life, she was always there for me in whatever way she could be. And she never made me feel like a burden. Forever grateful for people like you. Happy birthday. So this is the post that she made about her friend. Now pay attention to the post that her friend made. She said, I'm so hurt, my pretty girl. You did nothing to deserve this, I promise. This is so wrong. You did nothing to nobody. Why did they let you leave by yourself or without your phone? Oh my God, I've been just tripping the past couple of days from keeping me from crying because this hurts so bad. This feels so wrong. Then put your body by the bayou like you're nothing, when whole time you are so much more. I can't stomach the pain you were feeling and wearing anxiety high with no phone or nobody to hear or help you. You really messed my head up with this one, I ain't gonna lie. Now, keep in mind, authorities have not confirmed that there's any indication of foul play. Authorities have not confirmed that this is a murder investigation. What authorities have said is that there's no foul play and they're just waiting to determine the cause of death. But her friend says, why would you let someone leave by themselves? If you came to the bar together, you leave together. And why would you let her leave without her phone? What are you guys' thoughts about that? So now I'm going to play some reactions from some university students, and then we're going to get into the number of bodies that have been discovered. So listen to this.
Back at it again. Win it. Win it. We twin it to win it. Yeah.
This has certainly been concerning for students.
I do feel like the U of H campus or Houston in general, you just can't go anywhere alone.
Just praying for the family of her and just hoping that everybody else that hears about this is aware.
All right, so the owner of that restaurant where she was last seen tells KPRC2 News that McKissic left the restaurant around 12:30, and she adds she seemed like herself as she went toward downtown. Sky 2 flew over the area where her body was found on the 15th. Again, how she got there and how she died is still very much a mystery. UH sent out a statement saying, in part, it is with profound sadness that we share the recent passing of one of our students. Jade Sage McKissic was a campus resident and student employee and a friend to many in our community. Of course, we're going to continue to press police.
I think my roommate said that they were off campus, which makes me feel a little bit better about the safety on campus. But at the same time, it's still concerning. As a girl, you have to be careful.
I do worry about my friends sometimes, and I like to make sure that they're okay.
My heart goes out. I have 3 children myself, and we love these kids here.
So in your experience, 4 bodies in 1 week, is that unusual?
Usually you don't find 4 bodies in the bayou in a week.
Does this raise any red flags for law enforcement?
Yeah, I mean, I think clearly when you have bodies starting to show up in bayous, it's always a concern for us because we obviously got to determine how the bodies got there, what was the cause of death, was it foul play, was it suicide, was it an accident, kind of what the circumstances were that caused the death of the person. So I'm sure the Houston Police Department is well underway of trying to determine the cause of death and taking the appropriate necessary investigative leads to go and solve the case.
You can understand a lot of people have questions, they have concerns after hearing this news this week. A lot of people are making assumptions about these discoveries.
I think it's a bad idea to make assumptions about anything because it's too early in the investigation to determine what took place. That's why we have an Institute of Forensic Sciences that will do autopsies on these bodies and determine the cause of death. And the Houston Police Department is very capable of doing a great investigation on these matters. So from our perspective, don't rush to any conclusions, don't speculate. Let law enforcement do what law enforcement does, and hopefully we'll have some answers.
A lot of people use these trails. What's your advice to folks that like to walk, bike, or run along the bayous?
I mean, you have to be aware of your surroundings. That's the single biggest thing. Stay in well-lit areas if you're going to run at night. Run with a friend, run with a family member, run with somebody that you trust. If you're running alone and you have earbuds in, take one out, leave one out the whole time so you can ensure that if anybody's coming near you or walking up on you, that you will hear them. Make sure that you can have yourself tracked by people that love and care for you, and they'll be able to see where you are on the trail. They would be able to see if you went into the water.
This is the 3rd body reported in a bayou just this week, and on Monday a body was found in a canal near Brays Bayou off the East Freeway. Also another reported on Brays Bayou near Medical Service Drive at Spur 5. So our records show that this makes 12 bodies reported in local bayous for the year of 2025. So should you be concerned? And what's the deal with all of these bodies popping up in bayous? A lot of people walk, bike, and trail along those bayous. Now, we're still waiting to hear what caused these newest bodies to be in a bayou, but police have confirmed in the last year the causes of these cases, they can vary from suicide to murder, even construction accidents. Flooding or heavy rain can also make things more difficult to figure out what happened with a particular case. And there's the growing homeless population that may live along the water. Constable Alan Rosen spoke with our Isaiah Carey earlier this year about the growing issue and how difficult it is to prevent something like this from happening. The bayous are expansive, nearly 24 bayous with other streams and tributaries. Buffalo Bayou stretches over 50 miles, so police would have to be at the exact location of where that person may have gone in at that particular time. Rosen says the best thing they can do is to give a good response.
If we have a citizen wondering, what's the deal? HPD hasn't really given us a lot of information either. What questions do you have?
I mean, is there somebody paying attention to these? Is there more details to investigation? I don't know. It's just kind of scary at this point. When it's that many coincidences, there's not such a coincidence that happens multiple times.
There's long-term plans and there's short-term plans. I would hope that the short-term plans are in effect and something is being done. Someone's patrolling or someone's watching over cameras or lights or anything's being done right now.
One of the guys who just said, is anyone paying attention to these?
Yeah.
That really brings us right back to HPD. So have we heard anything from HPD on these?
We haven't.
The thing that's really fucking me up about this Sage situation, rest in peace to that young soul, the nightmare realization of how routine that route is for a college student that goes to UH or TSU. You know how many of us back in the day, even though I just graduated, would go to LA Burger and Daiquiris on a weeknight, bro? That is common. To think that common route led to a young woman in a river, bro. This shit is not normal. In the UH-TSU area, do you know how many potentially oppressive people are around here, bro? Between the weirdos, the potential criminals, and the homeless people, you don't know who is who. This area is just really effed up, bro.
The current state representative for House District 147, so I've got to fulfill my duties as the elected representative of House District 147, but I'm also running for Congress, Texas 18. So there's just always a lot on my table. I need to post about some of the things I was able to do yesterday, where I'm back in town, because as you know, I was gone for the quorum break, which just kept me away. And then with the special session, it kept me away from being able to campaign in the traditional sense. So of course I am extremely thankful that the latest poll shows that I'm in first place. That's thankfully by my, what I've done for my constituents, being elected 11 times in Texas 18, and, just the good work and just God looking out for me. But as I was preparing for court this morning, and I've been up really early this morning preparing for court, I saw that since the beginning of the year, 13 bodies have been found in bayous in Houston. If you're not familiar with Houston, we have bayous. And 4 have been found in the last week. They just identified one of them, so I have a heavy heart. Her name is Jade McKissic. She went to the University of Houston. She was a junior. I have 2 degrees from the University of Houston. She went to a restaurant on Scott Street, which I've been to the restaurant. I know the owner. And they have some video footage that I've seen where she appears to be leaving. And I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that she was with friends and she left and she forgot her phone. And some people have said she's may have been drinking, but you should be able to go out and drink and be safe. And she went walking. Now, she was found in Brays Bayou, which is actually 1 block from where she was. And as I think about, you send your kid to college and she doesn't come back, and she ends up in a bayou somewhere, just hits close to home, being a black girl missing, how people don't always pay attention to when we're missing. And it just makes me sad, and I want to pray for her family, because she was so close. Literally, she could have gone down Scott. They say she lived on campus, so she could have gone down Scott to get to U of H, which was or she could have gone down McGregor, which is where the bayou is. And the bayou is literally 2 blocks from my house. When I look at the pictures of her, she just looks so happy, and who knew that she would be found dead. So it's really not a way to start a Monday with something that heavy on your heart. But I just want for you guys to pray for her family. It definitely has me slightly not focused, just because she literally is or was not that old. And she should have been able to go out and make it home safe. By car, she was no more than 2 minutes away from where she lived, since they say she lived on campus. So just pray for her family. Her name is Jade McKissic. They say that there's no foul play. The street is up higher, the sidewalk. I actually used to ride my bike and walk the bayou. There's not a lot of lights, so it's not the safest place. Like, I wouldn't have been, at nighttime, I would have never been at I wouldn't have been there by myself, for sure. I'm parking in the parking garage, downtown. So it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Anyway, those are just my thoughts about the state of things. 4 bodies found in the bayou in the last week. Different, and I was reading when I was reading about Jade this morning that another body was found in July, another black woman, but she was reported missing in August of last year. So I hope there's nothing nefarious going on. I hope they find out what happened to Jade. Anyway, it's just sad. But have the best day that you guys can have.